Hi, this is Brian with Ashby Tours and Adventures, and this channel is designed to provide you with tips, tricks, and information to make sure your travel experience is as good as possible. So today's video, we are discussing 5 things that some people can let ruin their all-inclusive vacation. These are things I see on Facebook and TripAdvisor all the time that people complain about, and it drives me crazy because I know that if they had information prior to arrival, these things could have been avoided. So I'm gonna help you avoid these things to make sure that it doesn't ruin your vacation. So let's get into them. All right, so the very first thing is your transfer. This is when you arrive at the airport. This is the vehicle that's going to get you to your resort. So I see complaints online where people have had issues, and I know a lot of these issues can easily be avoided, or if not avoided, at least made so it's not something that will ruin your vacation if you let it. So the best thing to do is first, book a private transfer, okay? Get a vehicle that is just for you and your family. You'll have your own driver, your own car. You don't have to worry about people being dropped off before you or waiting for other people to show up that you don't know how long they're gonna take. Are they getting lunch? You don't know. So if you have a private transfer, then you can avoid that. The other thing is when you show up to the desk outside and they check you in, they may tell you, hey, your car is going to be here in 5 minutes. That may or may not be the case. Sometimes it's 5, sometimes it's 35. They're working off of a list, and as the drivers show up, they are getting people out of there. It's unless you really have a luxury ride reserved just for you, you're likely going to be in a queue waiting for a vehicle to come get you. So just be aware of that. Go grab a drink. Don't stress it. You don't need to hover over the desk or wait. It's going to be hot. There's going to be a lot of people waiting. Just understand that. Grab a drink and get your vacation started without worrying, about, hey, 5, 10 minutes, however long it takes for your vehicle to get there. So the second thing, your transfer has gone smoothly, you've arrived at the resort, and you're ready to get your vacation started. The second pain point that I see some folks online complaining about is the check-in process. And that's understandable because at an all-inclusive, the check-in process is more involved than something that you would deal with at a standard hotel. And knowing this in advance and knowing this information can help you avoid some of the problems that I see people complaining about. So the first thing is just know that they're going to take your passport, they're going to get information, they're going to get your credit card, they're going to explain a lot of things to you. So the process can be long. It can be 10, 15, 20 minutes just of you checking in. So just make sure you know that it's not going to be, hey, I'm here, give me my room. Okay, there is a bit of a process. The other thing to know is make sure you know what room category you're in. Sometimes it can be confusing. Different websites or places may have different names, and sometimes when you check into a resort, they may try to give you a different room category. It's not always intentional, but it happens. Sometimes it could be a translation issue where the room you expected is not the room they're trying to give you. So if you know exactly what room you're in, you can help avoid that. And it's not always the check-in person's fault. Sometimes things just get mixed up, but if you know, then it'll help you. The other thing is make sure, if you can, arrive at an off-peak time. So either earlier in the day or later. If you arrive at peak check-in time, which for places like Mexico or Cancun is going to be between 11 and 3, it's going to be a longer wait. So just know that, expect it, go in, they'll give you a welcome drink when you show up. It'll be nice and cool inside, find a place to sit, get in line, someone will check you in. Just start relaxing and don't let it upset you. Just know in advance that it could happen. If you are someone who you don't want to wait, you're impatient, and that's just not going to work for you. Most resorts, as part of a preferred club process, they have a separate check-in area. It is more expensive, but you get a lot more benefits. So know yourself. If you know, hey, this is something that can really set me off if things don't go smoothly right away, just go ahead, book yourself in that club level. Let us book you in that club level, and let us help you figure out which resorts you may have that issue, and where you can really just have a much better experience and kind of avoid all of that. And I almost forgot one other thing is, once you've checked in, you will have access to the resort. So maybe your room is not ready. Okay, maybe you're there at 9, 10, 11 in the morning, and they're telling you your room may not be ready until 4 or 5. Okay, that's a lot of time. Bring a day bag, enjoy the resort, grab a drink, get some food, go lay by the pool, just start enjoying your day. Don't worry about your room. They're gonna take your luggage when you check in, okay? You don't have to worry. Just have a day bag, have swim clothes with you, and a hat, sunscreen, phone chargers, anything that you may need for the day, and just start enjoying your vacation. Try to avoid being sent to a timeshare rep. That is the third thing that I see a lot of people complaining about, where they've gotten suckered in, they've wasted a lot of time, or they've been lied to or promised things that turned out to not be true, okay? After you've done a check-in, and it's really hard to say because every resort is different, but in my experience, after check-in, a lot of times someone will come up to you and ask if you're familiar with the resort, or they'll ask you if you've made your dining reservations, or they'll ask you just a seemingly innocent question, like they're there to help you. At that point, they'll say, oh, well, let us show you around, let us tell you about the resort. And they'll take you and they'll start giving you some wonderful information, and it's not going to be very salesy. So I've seen these, and some of them are very good. Okay, you don't always know that you're talking to a timeshare person, so it's okay to ask. Ask, hey, who are you? Are you the concierge? And then hopefully they will tell you, because it can be confusing. And I've seen people spend hours with these folks thinking that they're getting information, thinking that they're making reservations or getting dining or whatever, only to find out at the very end, they say, oh, well, all of that only applies if you sign up, okay? And so you want to avoid that, because that's gonna really upset you if you find out you've spent 3 hours sitting at a desk with someone that you thought was helping you, only to find out they're trying to sell you a membership. All right, so the fourth thing that I see some people online complaining about is the dining at all-inclusive resorts. And there are some ways you can avoid it. There are some unfortunate realities of all-inclusive dining that can't be avoided, but most of the things that I see people really complaining about, I know can be either avoided, or at least something that won't make you upset because you understand it in advance. So the first thing is reservations. A lot of all-inclusive require you to have reservations. A few will let you do it in advance, but most require you to do it when you arrive. So if you have that free time, waiting for your room, or, whatever it is, that first day, don't wait. Go to your concierge or to your representative or whoever, depending on your resort's a little different, and get those reservations set up right away, because every day you wait, it's just less likely that you're going to get the dining time that you want. There's a lot of resorts that are still struggling with staffing, so even though they may have the capacity in the restaurant or the space for more people, they don't have the staff, so they're limited on how many people they're bringing in. So you really want to get your reservations done right away, especially if you've already, which I hope you have, already in advance looked at what restaurants you want to go to and any places that you must do. And again, that's something that we can help with, help you point out, okay, hey, these are very popular, they're going to book out. Let's work on the strategy for getting reservations to make sure you get there. But just know in advance where you want to eat. If you want to go to the same place every night, make sure you tell your concierge that. There's no rule that you have to go somewhere different. As long as there's space, you can do it. So, just make sure you know in advance to get those reservations, and be prepared that your first night, you're either going to be eating at the buffet or you're going to be eating at probably the least popular restaurant that they have, because that's where they're going to have space. So know that in advance. Be prepared for your first night is not going to be the best meal of the week, and just have that understanding. And if you're on a very short stay, 3 days or so, maybe don't get too focused on the restaurants, because you may not get into the top restaurant, or maybe we need to pick a resort for you that we can guarantee the dining. All right, and so the fifth unfortunate thing that I see online that people have some struggles with is the seaweed situation in the Caribbean, in Mexico. Sargassum, it can be a problem at certain locations. Certain times of the year, it can be worse. So knowing in advance, being prepared for it can really help you avoid letting something like this be the thing that ruins your vacation, okay? The seaweed is an unfortunate reality, okay? It's nature, it happens. So if you know that crystal clear blue water with perfect beaches, if you know that that's a really important thing to you, then we need to pick out a resort that matches that, okay? There are places that you can go that are virtually seaweed free. I don't want to promise anywhere is seaweed free, but there are a lot of places where you can mostly avoid it. So if you know, hey, this seaweed is a problem for me, then let's just pick a place that we know it's not going to be there. If you are more of a pool person, or you think, hey, it's not really going to bother me, then we have some more flexibility in where you stay. But there's a lot of things you can do even at peak seaweed season. Even if you're staying in a place that's known to get hit pretty hard with it, some resorts do an amazing job of clearing it out. They have people on the beach first thing in the morning, taking it out and clearing the beach to get it mostly clear for you to swim in. And there are some resorts that don't do that at all. They have very little cleanup. So you need to know that in advance. Okay, is the resort I'm staying at, do they do a good job cleaning it? Because I want to stay in a place like that. There are some times where after a storm or something where it's almost just too much to keep up with. So just know that in advance. And again, if you're okay with it and you think, hey, I'm gonna be at the pool, I'm gonna be at the bar, I'm gonna have a good time, hopefully we have some clear beaches, but it's not a big deal, then great. But if you know that you are a beach person and this is your dream trip and you want that picture blue water, then we need to make sure to get you in a resort that you can avoid it. So that's the last thing. The seaweed, we can avoid it. We can put you in a place that makes that perfect vacation for you. So, but it's just something to be aware of, because I see too many people online complaining about it. And it's an unfortunate reality that it seems we're going to be dealing with for a while. So let us help you, not make that a problem. All right. So hopefully those 5 tips will help you avoid some of these common problems that I see people complaining about. Most of these are going to be non-issues and they're not a big deal. And that's why I think it's important to do this video, because I see enough people who have allowed these things to kind of get their vacation off on a bad start or ruin it altogether. And it's really a shame, because I know that travel can be stressful at times, but if you go in with the right mindset and you understand what these pain points can be, there are so many ways where you can kind of avoid them or just make it work. So I hope you found this helpful. If you're ready to plan your next all-inclusive vacation, make sure to send us a message, info@ashbytours.com. We're here, we're ready to assist you. and we can put you in the perfect resort for your family. So take care, safe travels, and see you in the next one.